So, can you hear me now, Nancy?
I can hear
Marianne.
you. I can hear you, Marianne. Can you hear me?
I can, because I'm on the phone now.
Oh, bless you. That's fabulous. Okay, so wonderful. So now I'm going to mute everybody, and I'm going to welcome everyone officially to the call, and then we'll set the agenda, and then we'll make things happen. So hello, everyone. I'm Nancy Jutton, and I am the leader of the Get Your Sizzling Speaker Sheet Done August Challenge for 2019, and I want to welcome you to today's first live office hour, which is the first time we've done it with Zoom video in the number of years that I've been doing this, and so I want to just acknowledge that sometimes there are technical glitches, and we just have to be gracious and patient and accommodating. And so one of our guests, Marianne Oser, was having trouble getting onto the call, so I emailed her the call-in instructions, and now she's able to hear us, and we're able to hear her. And I see a few of you have joined us already. Kara's here, Denise is here, and then I see some other telephones, but I don't see names. So if you wouldn't mind, on the chat, on the lower portion of your screen, there's a place for you to actually say hello. And I just would love to know who's here so I can call you by name and be able in a position to help you and support you and serve you. So what we do on these live calls is I actually look at your Sizzling speaker sheet information that you've drafted, and I go one by one and I comment on what you've done, and I make suggestions about how you can make it better. And so it's a great opportunity for you to get my eyes on your message and some messaging magic that could be the difference between having a lackluster message and a blockbuster message. And why do we want to have a blockbuster message? It's because I'm going to meet someone. We want a blockbuster message so we can stand apart from all the other folks that are competing for the same gigs that we want. And when you can turn the attention of a decision maker to your message, that you're one phone call away from getting the gig, which could bring you to the stage to speak to dozens or hundreds or thousands of people. And whether you're speaking to sell or speaking to inspire, one way or the other, you could make the most of those gigs and come home with an armful of cash. And wouldn't that be a brilliant outcome? So that's what we're here to do. And I'm really glad you're here. And so let's get this party started. Well, I guess I should say hello to Marianne, hello to Kara, hello to Denise, hello to Nick, and anyone else who might be joining us. I don't see any comments in the chat just yet, so I know who's here. I'm just looking at it again just to make sure.
Nancy, if they're on phone, I don't think they can access the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can't access the chat, thank you very much, Kara. We do have our Facebook.
Well, but I don't know. Well, I'm both on.
I'm gonna.
Now, why is there an echo?
I don't know.
There.
I'm muting.
I guess
I'm muting everybody.
Good.
I think. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look at Marianne Oser's speaker sheet because she submitted it, and she also posted it in our Sizzling Speaker Sheet Makeover Lab. And so for those of you who are on the phone who are listening, you can go to the Sizzling Speaker Sheet Makeover Lab, and you can actually look at her speaker sheet while I'm talking about it. I want to make one other comment for logistics as we move along. The submissions that were made today were made just before we started at 10 o'clock in the morning. And that's okay, but it would be so much better if they were submitted the night before, because then when I wake up, I can review them thoughtfully and have more time to consider what would make them better. So as we're going over the various feedback, just know that when you submit, when you give me a little bit more time ahead of time to look at them, I can give you my very, very best. And a last minute submission will require me to really be on my toes, but I'll do my very best. And remember, we have 3 more calls in addition to the one we're doing today. So if you are not called on today, or if you still need help, I mean, don't dismay. I'll be there for you. Just show up and get it. You know, we'll get this done. Okay. So it says here, inspiring speaker Marianne Oser guides audiences to achieve lasting happiness in a sea of life changes that can rock their retirement boat. Bring her to your audience to welcome calm in the storm. Audiences say, wow, this is life-changing stuff. Outstanding speech, very informative, very interesting, something every relationship can benefit from. Terrific job. Excellent, great sincerity and conviction, given with passion, valuable gift to share with others, information packed, love your passion. Marianne is a seasoned expert who focuses on assisting people to build happy, fulfilling lives in a post-career phase of their lives through her workshops, seminars, public speaking, and individual coaching. She's the author of Your Happiness Portfolio for Retirement. It's not about the money. Your group will benefit from any of Marianne's powerful topics. Making retirement the best time of your life is designed to help you navigate the sometimes turbulent waters as you move out of career phase and how to age successfully and why your mindset matters so much. Okay, so I have a couple of things to suggest to you. There's some good content here, and it could be even more compelling, and I'm going to share some suggestions about how. I'm going to start at the bottom because you have your contact information there, your name, your email address, your phone number, and your website. But what you don't have is a compelling call to action that suggests why they should run and not walk to book Marianne Oser today. It's an often missed opportunity to give people a reason to call you, but you just sort of leave it there and you don't really invite them in. And so there is a speaker sheet for Morgana Ray that's posted in the Files tab, and it's like, run, don't walk, and book Morgana today. I mean, don't throw away your call to action. That is one of the most common mistakes that people make, is they throw away their call to action, and it's not very compelling. So jazz that up, Marianne. Number two, we don't really know anything. Your bio.
Can I interrupt for half a second?
Yeah.
I don't think you. Oh, geez. I don't think you saw the Word document I also posted. What you're looking at is my old.
Oh, okay.
That I had been using.
Oh, okay. Well,
so there should also be a Word document.
Oh, good. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm going to the Sizzling Speaker Sheet Makeover Lab right now, and I'm going to pull that up, and we'll make it happen. And I'll spend, 10 minutes or so on each person. And so we've got the PDF, and then we have a draft. Ah, very good. Here it comes. All right. I see it now. Thanks for clarifying. Oh, you've got all this information here. Okay.
Nancy, it's not fair to make you do it on the fly. If you want to look at it and go to the others, and then if you've got time, come back to mine, that would be very okay.
Would that be okay? Thank you for being
very
so gracious,
okay.
Because I looked at the wrong one, and that's a bummer. So that would be something everyone could do, is say, this is the one I want you to look at. So I don't make a mistake. And but while I'm here, I just want to say, with regard to testimonials, I'm going to make a broad comment about testimonials that will hopefully help everyone who's on the call. Great content, great topic, love the content, very interesting and informative, excellent speaker, outstanding speech, great sincerity and conviction. These are beautiful statements about a topic. But imagine you were a decision maker and you had 100 speakers you were trying to choose from. The trouble with these kinds of comments is that they start to sound a little bit the same, and they don't differentiate you from another speaker in a memorable, compelling way that would be head-turning. So what you might want to dig around for, it's something like, She makes her point with humor and kindness and gets a standing ovation every time. She changes the energy of the room. She brings down the house and brings up the vibe with every word she speaks. But what you have here is some fairly generic comments that don't really help you stand apart from other equally awesome speakers. So for all of you with your testimonials, you know, someone told me once that I'm a human exclamation point on steroids and a word wizard who just spouts out sound bites that makes people laugh and grin and turn on their recordings, right? That's like a memorable thing that you might recall about what someone said about one of my talks that might be just the vibe that would be right for that particular audience. So look at your testimonials and ask yourself, if your testimonials sound like pretty straightforward, is there anyone that says anything particularly memorable that would serve you, right? Let's see, what else can I say here? So Marianne, I promise to look over your two things. One is make your sizzling call to action more compelling. And then I should ask you another question is, do you get paid to speak, Marianne?
I have not been paid yet. The day that I announced my book, I was booked for my first paid speaking gig as a result of my book.
Oh, very good. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And so they are paying you. Is that right?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So for those of you who speak for free, that's completely fine. If you want to be in a position to negotiate a fee and you're an early stage speaker who hasn't spoken a lot, you can put a simple statement on your speaker sheet that says, get in touch for a custom quote that is tailored to suit your needs. Because then if they like your topics, they know right away that you're not doing this for free. And then you can be in a position to negotiate. I would be interested to know, for those of you who are live on this call, if you would use the chat on the right-hand side if you are able. How many of you, are you already being paid to speak, or are you learning to speak to sell? So I see some comments here. Let's see. Someone's asking, what do we say in this section if we never receive testimonials when we speak? I have tons of testimonials on my coaching. I have been paid and also have done speak to sell. Okay, I'll answer that question. If you've not received testimonials yet, I highly recommend that you invite a few of your closest colleagues and friends to your dining room or your living room and deliver a talk for them and invite them to give you a testimonial as a favor to you, as a way to lift you up as you're climbing, and to boost your confidence. Because if you're in a closed room with close friends and they say you hit the ball out of the park and change their life in the moment, it will be a beautiful thing. And you know, step by step we go. I mean, we all have to start somewhere, so there's no reason to apologize. If you have the challenge when you have tons and tons of testimonials around what a great coach you are, that doesn't really speak to how well you take the stage, how well you command attention, how well you deliver your message from one to many, and how you shift the energy in the room to deliver the magic that's yours uniquely to bring. So if you don't yet have those kinds of comments, then create opportunities for you to get them. And I'll share with you, you know, in the last couple of years, I've done a couple of hundred speaking engagements, whether they were live, virtual, be live television, teleseminars, webinars, whatever format. But when I was first starting out, I didn't have anything. And I wasn't that great of a speaker either. But I would do free events at the local tea house. Bye boring bio, transform your boring bio from wallpaper to wow to attract clients now. And I'd gain in my confidence. So I'd say, I'm doing a free workshop at the local tea house, and all I ask is that you buy tea and give me your full attention, and I promise that you'll get some wow from our time together. And then I would say at the end, it would mean the world to me if you'd offer a comment about how well this workshop served you and what you got out of it. And step by step, I got these wonderful testimonials. And it's sort of like, I'm going to use a silly expression, but like notches on the bedpost, you know. The first time you do something, maybe it's not so great, but then you get better and better and better. So those testimonials that I earned 10 years ago are weak compared to the ones that I get today, but I still had them. And it made it easy for people to take a chance on me because people had said warm and favorable things about my comments. So please step up and get on a stage, even if it's in your living room or your dining room or the local tea house, and get some testimonials. It'll be a really good thing for you. So I think Marianne says, I've been paid to lead workshops and guest teach, but speaking is new to me. Okay, Kara, that's great. Speaking, getting paid to lead workshops and guest teach is awesome. So you probably have a fee that you were paid. And then the question would be, are you happy with the fee that you were paid? And do you feel like now's the time to be charging even more for whatever it is that you do? Another question I would have for you, and I haven't yet gotten to know you, so forgive me for not knowing all the answers, but have you written a book? Do you have a course that you can lead people to make a purchase to buy? Tell me a little bit more about what you have to bring to the party, because for many of us, we speak for free for the opportunity to deliver value and insight, and then have an opportunity during the presentation to make an invitation that will give people the opportunity to do business with us. So if you are speaking to sell, you can sometimes make more money than your traditional speaking fee by inviting enough people in the room to say yes instantaneously to your offer. So I want to know, Kara, what it is that you can offer to sell. Is it a book? Is it a course? Is it a private mentoring? Is it a window of personal coaching, etc.? Let's see. Andrea says, I do not know why my name is not showing up. And she said something. So I'm so glad you're here, Andrea. So speaking of Andrea, I think you made a submission too. And I think this is it. And what you did, yes, it is right here. What Andrea did is she used her Sizzling speaker sheet template to fill out all the information. I'm going to juxtapose. What Marianne did is she took everything that was in her Sizzling speaker sheet template and she put it all on one sheet of paper so I could see everything laid out. And that's what I'd really like to see when you make your submissions in the Facebook group, to cull down everything that's on this template into one sheet of paper, because it forces you to take the best and leave the rest, and then we can refine what's there. But since I'm a go with the flow kind of person, I'm going to take a look at what you've submitted, Andrea, and I'm going to learn a little bit about you and everyone else's too. So what Andrea talks about is the 4 tragic mistakes to building a profit-driven business model and how you can avoid them. That's juicy. MDRT. Mission. I don't know what MDRT is right away. And so if you have an acronym in your title that I don't instantly know what it is, it causes my brow to furrow and I'm not sure. So maybe, excuse me, you can clear that up for me. And who is Andrea? For over 20 years, Andrea Ballard has helped hundreds of financial reps, advisors grow their businesses. Results-driven financial reps and advisors love working with Andrea, describing her as dynamic, energetic, driven, and captivating. Her play-to-win attitude, sharp business sense, and dynamic coaching methods have allowed many of her clients to catapult to multiple 6 and 7 figures while gaining more time, freedom, and peace of mind. She specializes in helping financial reps and advisors grow their businesses with A-team members, systems, and learning how to become great leaders. She wrote the book, The Turnkey Office System for Financial Reps. Her work is considered a go-to blueprint that helps financial reps, advisors choose the right business model, hire A staff, implement the turnkey system, and develop as business leaders. Her clients have quickly grown their businesses to MDRT. So in the chat, can you tell me what MDRT is? I should probably know it, but I don't. And I have a comment about your bio right out of the box. What you have here is a bio about what you do as a business. But if your objective is to be chosen as a speaker, we need to have a bio that's more about what kind of a speaker you are, as opposed to all the yummy, delicious things you've done for clients. And so I'm going to keep turning the page to see what I can learn more about you, because you're clearly a coach. You played division volleyball. You're the author of 2 books. You're a frequent speaker and lecturer for numerous business and insurance companies. So here we go. Andrea has brought her brand of brilliance to organization from the stage for companies including Northwestern Mutual, Guardian, Mass Mutual, Penn Mutual Life, Summit Life, and Sales Forum Expo. What you did here, Andrea, is you buried the juiciest part to the last instead of putting it first. You want to sell yourself as a speaker first and a coach second and an author, coach and author second, because what is the purpose is to get you booked on the stage. And if you lead with the big stages that you've taken in industries that are important in your space, they already see you as a speaker, but you buried the lead. That's what we call burying the lead. I'm going to see what else I can see here right off the bat. We've got some testimonials here. You've got some really good testimonials here from people with names and credentials, which I like. I found her energy and focus appealing. I knew then I was going to hire her to be my coach. Our firm engaged Andrea to perform an extreme office makeover. She spent 3 days with our team. So this is the kind of testimonial that speaks to what kind of an awesome coach you are. And I want to know if you have any testimonials that address what kind of a spectacular speaker you are. And if you can find some, I'd like you to lead with those, because whether you're speaking for a fee or speaking for free, the audience has to get a benefit from you delivering your content to them, whether they decide to do business with you or not. And right now you're selling your coaching more so than you're selling your speaking. And Andrea, is there some way that I can know which one you are? Because I'd love for us to have some dialogue. Would you be able to post in the chat, Andrea, what the last 4 digits of your telephone number are so that I can unmute you? Would you be willing to do that? $1 Million Roundtable. Ah, of course. So, Andrea, I don't see you. There's people on the call here, and I don't know how you're dialing in, but I'm not able. Could I ask you to call in like Marianne did? Because I'm not able to call you out.
Andrea is listed by her name. She should be able to unmute herself.
Oh, there you are. Thank you. Thank you. That's Kara. Awesome. Andrea, how are you? Can you hear me? Andrea? It says unmute.
Do you hear me now?
Yay!
Great.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. I'm loving this.
Oh, good. So tell us, have you been speaking, right?
Yes, I've been doing tons of speaking throughout my 20 years at various large conferences. For example, I spoke at the Northwestern Mutual, their 100th year anniversary. And so I've spoken in front of people of 1,000, or I've given workshops, and I've been paid for that. But I've also done speak to sell. Mm-hmm. I've done that in small groups. I've also done this on webinars, but I've never asked for testimonials from speaking.
Okay, up until now, my favorite expression.
Yes.
Up until now, I've not asked for testimonials, but now that I know better, I'm going to do better.
I love it.
So since what you just said was very compelling, whether Andrea is addressing a small group or a stadium of thousands at $1 Million Roundtable, one thing is certain: she will inspire your audience to get their act together, get their systems squarely working so that they can optimize their profits and their service to their clients.
I love it. I'm writing.
And we are recording this, and we are at 30 minutes into the call. So when you get access to the recording, you can just fast forward to that, and all of you take the same advice. If I say something magical that you like, make a note of what time it is, and then when you get the replay, you won't have to worry about scribbling every single word down. But with what I just did with Andrea's example is, you know, have you spoken to intimate groups, large audiences, groups of top executives? You know, when you say whether she's addressing X, Y, or Z, one thing is certain. The beauty of that kind of a statement is you're letting the decision maker know how versatile you are and that you can bend and sway regardless of how many people are in the space and deliver the magic.
Love it. I love it. That's great.
Yeah. And so I'm going through to see what else you've got here. Okay, I'm just looking to see. So going back to the beginning there, Andrea, if what your talk is the 4 tragic mistakes that prevent to building a profit-driven business model and how you can avoid them, if your audience tends to be financial advisors, you might want to put financial advisors in the title.
Okay, I was wondering that.
And then you'll also want to create typically 3 sizzling bullet points, and it could say something like, audience members will discover, reveal, appreciate, learn, like some active verb.
Yep.
And then you want it to sizzle. So right now you're talking, you might want to have 4 bullet points because you're talking about 4 tragic mistakes. When you have a bullet point, you want to say what's new, what's intriguing, what's uncommon, what's surprising. You want to phrase it in such a way that they don't just have to phone in the PowerPoint and go on and do their thing. Right?
Yep.
So for the next submission that you make, I'd like you to tell me, you know, what are they going to learn? What are they going to discover? What are they going to what blind spot are they going to set aside? What uncommon treasure are they going to excavate that's going to make going to your session the best possible use of their time and talent?
I love it.
And the beauty of that is sometimes people are really early in their careers and they don't yet have a signature topic or a speech. And if anyone wants to raise their hand and say that that's their situation, this is just us folks here, tell us, it's completely fine. But the beauty of creating a sizzling speaker sheet is that you tell the people, like, this is our topic and this is what you will learn. And this is what qualifies Andrea or Marianne or Denise or Kara to be the expert that can speak about this better than anyone else. And this is what you can do to book her. But if you don't yet have a signature speech, the beauty of your sizzling speaker sheet is it can serve as almost like cliff notes for what you're going to be writing when you create your talk.
I love it. I had a question. You see how I had the 4 tragic mistakes?
Yep.
Now, and I heard you before when you said people tend to pay more attention to mistakes than they do to benefits.
Yeah, painkillers sell better than vitamins.
Yeah, I thought that was fascinating. I love that. Well, my new book coming out in the fall is called The 4 Pillars.
Does it have a subtitle?
Yeah, The 4 Pillars to a profit-driven, stress-free building a profit-driven, stress-free financial planning practice.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't know if I should say the 4 pillars, if I could somehow work with that and I don't know how I can make that negative, but I thought if we did the 4 pillars, that would brand kind of the book that's coming out, and as opposed to the 4 tragic mistakes.
It's a forthcoming book, so is the cover already done?
No.
Okay. I think I might want to think about my answer to that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is, like, where exactly, what kind of shape is the book in? Is it a manuscript? Is it first draft? I mean, where is it in the process?
It's already been back and forth already with the editor. So we have an editor, it's California. It should be out in, we have a first draft of a cover. They'll be editing that, so it's going to be published in probably October.
Okay.
So it's all on its way.
So just a little fun thing I'll share. There is a service called 99, is it called 99 Designs? I think it's called 99 Designs.
Okay.
And my husband is a financial advisor. And he wrote this book, Smart Money Moves.
Oh.
Get on track and stay on track early in your career with these hacks, tips, and strategies.
I love it.
This is a #1 Amazon best-selling book.
Wow.
But for those of you who are writing books, and I know I'm going off this topic of sizzling speaker sheets, I do think that's one of the benefits of this course is I tell you a little bit about other things that are relevant that might surprise and delight you and add additional value. Steve wanted a really hot title, a cover. And so I think he spent $300 on a site called 99 Designs. And he wrote a brief about what the book was about.
Yep.
And who it was for and the vibe of the book. And within 5 days, he literally had 300 designs that came to him from all around the world, from graphic designers everywhere that had their own interpretation of what that book cover should look like.
Wow.
And then we narrowed it down to the top 5, and then we put it to a vote with a whole bunch of people in our community, and this is the one we picked. And it was for millennials. It was a really fun process, but it cost $300. Wow. And that was so cheap. And when the book came out, everybody was like so proud of it because the cover and the title are so important. The cover and the title are important. What's on the back is important. And then your table of contents is important. And most importantly, if your book is going to be a business card for your business, make sure there's a sizzling call to action in the book so people can be called to book you as a speaker.
Love it.
Work with you as a coach. Join your Facebook group or community. Be clear about what you want people to do as a result of this book that you're writing. So for those of you who are writing books, there's a resource for you, 99 Designs. It's a really affordable, robust way to get a visual take on your book that you might never have even considered. And oh, by the way, the guy that did the book, he was so responsive and great that we used him to lay out the book too. So
oh, you did?
We
wow.
did. We did. So we're a little bit off the track here, but going back to the fact, if you have a forthcoming book, and the book is going to be ready in October, and then that's like 20 minutes from now, right? That's no big deal. But everywhere else that you write your bio, you'd say Andrea is the forthcoming author of this book. And then you could even say, go here to get the first 2 chapters as a teaser.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because if you go there to get the first 2 chapters, what's the benefit of that? They are giving you their name and their email address for the privilege to get a taste of your awesome book. And then when your book is finally in hand and people can buy it, you already have an audience of people that can be invited to make a purchase. And then you can say, you bought the first 2 chapters. Do you want the rest of the story? Here's where you can go and get it. And oh, by the way, launch day is October 15th. And the more books that we sell on October 15th, the greater the likelihood we can be an Amazon bestseller. And that would make my dream come true. Won't you please support me? And then all of a sudden, you could become an Amazon #1 bestseller, which is bragging rights and another way to set yourself apart in a sea of books that people have to choose from.
Oh, I love it. What great ideas.
Good. So your assignment, should you choose to accept it, is to fill out some bullet points about what they're going to learn.
Yep.
And then I want you to revisit your bio so that instead of talking about yourself as a coach and a trainer, you're talking about yourself as a speaker.
Got it.
And another thing I would have you do is, if you do not yet have testimonials, what if you, knowing what kind of a speaker you are, you drafted 3 testimonials that would be true if they were assigned to someone who was actually there?
It was funny, that's what I was thinking about doing, calling people that have been to my events or just recently and saying, can you just give me a testimony on my speaking or topics?
Yeah, like, you know, and when you look at the samples of, there's in the Sizzling Speaker Sheet Makeover Lab on Facebook, there's a Files tab, and it will give you access to some finished versions of people's speaker sheets. But Tommy Wolf, who's a mover and shaker, she actually harvested some reviews from Facebook. Tommy's 5 stars. Tommy's an exceptional speaker, very engaging with many her takeaways. Her talk on iconic leadership, your chance to make our world a better place, is a thought-provoking invitation for leaders to unleash their full power and use it to shape our future for good. Tommy is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. Her stories are touching on a personal level. Oops. And she has a magnetic energy that emanates around. So anyway, why not create a 5-star review with a little circle of a picture of somebody, like a real person, and have somebody say something awesome. And since you are writing a book, I'm going to give you another little ninja strategy. And I learned this from Patrick Snow, who's a book coach. I'm really big on attribution. He's helped people write and publish their books and succeed as consultants and speakers. But the first time I heard him say this, I thought, nobody's going to do that. But apparently people do that. Here's what he said. He said, if you've written a book and you want luminaries in your industry to read it and give you a testimonial, sometimes they don't have time to read your book or to write your testimonial. But if you want their names on your book, you got to make it easy for them. So his suggestion was, if you've written a book, and this also is, you know, if you've written a speech, write down 10 testimonials that would be your dream testimonial from any person of influence who would possibly review your book. And then you can say, Dear Jack Canfield, I've been a fan of yours for 1,000,000 years. It would mean the world to me to have your comments about my book on my book jacket. To make it easy for you, I've actually written 10 testimonials that speak to what the book's about and the big win that the reader will get by reading it, so that if you choose, you can adapt one of them and just put your own sizzle on that steak.
I love that.
And then it also forces you to be really clear about, what is this book about anyway? What am I going to get out of it? Because on the back of any book, you want to have some kind of comment like, run, don't walk, read this book. It's going to change your life, you know? So all of you who are here, think about what kind of a speaker you are and what you want people to say about you. And if you don't have comments like that, manufacture them. And then you can simply say, audience members say things like this: boom, boom, and boom. And then when you have real people with real names and real job titles and prestige contributors, you can swap out what audience members used to say with the people that are saying really things about you, really. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. That's so great.
Yay. Are we getting value so far? Are people excited to be here?
This is wonderful.
Yeah. So, Kara, I think I should probably talk to Kara now, since we've got another 15 minutes and I want to make sure she gets her full value too. Did you feel like this was helpful, Andrea?
This is incredible, Nancy. Thank you so much. This was so great. And I'm going to take the homework, do it.
Yeah. And then what you can do, like I said, you know how Marilyn put it all on one sheet of paper? take what you have on all these sheets.
Okay.
Take the best and leave the rest. And try to create something.
Okay.
And think, oh, these are so pretty. I'm not a graphic designer.
Yep.
Like just create a Word doc if that's all you could do. That's fine. But the other thing you can do is there is a service, there's an app, I don't know if it's called an app, canva.com.
Yep.
It's free to use, and you can actually take one of like Tommy Wolfe's speaker sheet, which is so pretty. You can use it as a model, and you can upload your picture of you with a microphone, your logo. Sometimes what happens when you get into creation mode, I recommend a Word document first before we start designing, because let's get the words right before we make it pretty. But what happens when it starts to get pretty, in my experience, is people start to feel more confident. They start to step into their value. They start to feel a little bit cooler in their own skin. And that's awesome, because in a sea of Word documents that some decision maker is going to look at, if they're having a committee and they're all around the boardroom and they're trying to decide who they're going to pick and why, the beautifully designed, branded speaker sheet is going to stand apart from the straightforward Word docs every day of the week.
Love it. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Kara, it is your turn. Oh, there you are. I can see you. Hey, so nice to meet you.
So good to meet you too. So I didn't post anything because my draft is so embarrassingly rough. But I'm just now posted and will tag you in at least the topic names that I was playing with a little bit.
Oh, good. I just
want to take a peek at them.
Yeah, I'm going to go there right now. Isn't this fun?
It's so fun. And I'm so grateful for all the help you're giving, because it makes me feel like, oh, I'm going to get this, even though it feels far off.
Yeah, you are so going to get this. So it's something just got, I'm going to hit send receive because I know something just got posted.
Yeah, I posted it right on the wall of the group, so it should be right under.
Oh, there it is. It's coming up. Here it is. I'm loving the Zoom call. Here's the topic I've been playing with. I want to say one thing about, you said something, you made some negative comment about what shape you have your sheet is in.
Oh, yes.
And what I want to say is that we're living in a shame and blame free zone. And whatever you have, we call it a sloppy first copy for a reason, because we just have to get over ourselves.
You're so right.
So up until now, if you've been giving yourself trouble about how good or bad it is, or just release it. We're in a shame and blame free zone. If you throw something out there, we can make it better. And so that's just, I wanted to say that.
Perfect. Thank you.
So it says, here's the topic ideas I'm playing with. You're not broken. You've just got superpowers. From broken, different, and sensitive to superpower master, more joyful. From broken, different, and sensitive to superpowers extraordinaire, more joyful. From broken, 3 steps to the happier version of you. You're not crazy and life doesn't have to be this hard. 3 unexpected keys to unleash. Ooh, I like that one. What I love about the 3 unexpected keys to unleashing your joy potential, that is what we call intrigue and curiosity right there. 3 unexpected keys to unleash your joy potential. Has a lot of legs to run. I like it. I'm wondering, I want to ask you, who is, I get an idea about the qualities and characteristics of this person, but is it a woman? Is it a man? Is it a person of a certain age? Who are these ideal people that you really want to talk to?
So, men and women, various ages I work with. I would say most of the people are in the 30s and 40s, if I was to take a very rough stab. But primarily they're people who are doing some kind of self-work or have some sort of an idea of it and have a desire for things to get better and a desire to go inward and look on what they're working on. Okay.
So what we're talking about here, I'm going to make a broad statement about who our people are. We have to name and claim our ideal audience in really specific terms so that we can actually go out and be able to find them easily. And what you just said was a little bit too broad to make it easy on yourself to get yourself booked.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna just sort of use Andrea as an example. She works with financial advisors, and so that's crystal clear. So that means that she can go after conferences and associations that serve financial advisors, and they are so easy to locate that it makes pitching so much easier. When you have this kind of seeker audience, which is kind of what you're talking about, they're seeking. It's sort of fluffy. It's sort of soft on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you another question. Do they tend to be entrepreneurs or business owners, or do they tend to be in the helping professions? What do they do professionally?
So this is not new to me. This is something that I've struggled with for a while because there's such a wide variance. Some of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them are parents. Some of them are employees. They are just kind of all walks of life with that. The really one big overarching thing I can find in all the people that I work with is that one piece that they are seekers, like you said. And I know it's really fluffy and hard to.
Well, we're going to kick at it a little bit. I want to ask another question. When you turn your greatest weakness into your superpower, what do you get to have, be, or do because of that?
So you get to be happier. Life becomes less prickly. You stop feeling like you are the only one with struggles and having struggles that are so weird that you must be the things that people have always called you out on being. You're too sensitive, you're too XYZ, going into crowds might be hard, things like that. When you start to realize that these are gifts and not weaknesses and learn how to harness them,
okay,
how to use them.
I got you something here. I have something for you. I heard this from a gentleman named Jeffrey Van Dyke, and he said, out of your greatest wound in life comes forth your greatest gift to share.
Yes.
And if that was a sassy soundbite at the top of that you used, and because that's kind of what you're saying, out of your greatest, from broken, depressed, and sensitive to the happiest person you know,
yeah,
out of your deepest wound in life calls forth your greatest gift to share. During this inspiring keynote, audience members will learn how to turn their greatest weakness into their greatest strength. They'll hear stories from the trenches about the transformation that happened in life, business, and family because of it. And they'll get 3 powerful tools to make the transformation in weeks instead of years.
Awesome.
And that could be something to play with.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I'll tell you something. When Jeffrey Van Dyke, I was doing some training with him, and he actually said those words to me, and it just hit me squarely between the eyes. And I said, that is so big, I just don't even know if I can hold it. Because I'll just share something about myself. And I use this in my keynotes, which is why it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
My greatest gift, my greatest wound in life is that I was never seen, heard, or celebrated in my own family. And it turns out that was my greatest gift to share, because I know what it's like not to be seen, heard, celebrated, or understood. And I've turned that wound into a great ability to listen to other people, to go excavating for what their message is, and to be able to turn it around so that it can serve others. And so I've built a huge, nice business for myself from that wound. I mean, I was the get known to get paid mentor for the longest time. It's like that's what I wanted to be, because I felt so empty that I didn't get that as a kid. So my greatest gift is to give that to other people. See?
Yes.
And people remember that. They go, wow, that's so, that's really vulnerable. And that's really, they'll remember that. Like they find it surprising that somebody who seems so confident today would have ever dealt with that issue. But I turned it into a great gift to share with other people. And I've transformed a lot of lives in the process. And
yes. And that's so makes sense and is so similar to my story. Thank you for sharing it.
So go ahead and adapt that, because what sometimes people do is they get so wrapped up in their own story that they forget that they're serving an audience with specific, terrific content they can take away and apply to create a transformation that will shift their energy for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And if that's the flag that you're waving, then turn it into a movement or a mission that you can be the leader of, and use words to invite people to march with you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So can I tell you very briefly what my journey was and where I got here?
Yeah, sure.
So I was a wildly sensitive kid who took on everybody else's emotions and in such an extreme way that eventually by the time I hit 18, I plummeted into a really dark clinical depression. And I started studying energy work and meditation, and I learned I have all these psychic gifts that had been destroying me. And so the story that I tell is really similar to the superhero journey. Superhero has a superpower, doesn't understand it, it destroys your life. You learn how to harness it and turn it on and off yourself, and then you can use it for good. So I became a healer and a teacher, and I teach people how to discover their own psychic superpowers, what the things about them that are their
discover the superhero within for good and profit. That might be something.
Superhero with, I love that. Okay, that's great.
Well, good. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it came to me so quickly. So
that was good. And so I teach this, and I work with all sorts of people who have all of these, and most of them aren't coming to me saying, I think I might be psychic. Some people do, but everybody has an intuition, which is the same thing, just with a less touchy word. And so people come and they take classes with me, and they learn how to manage their sensitivities of all the various kinds. And then everything becomes so much happier.
So that's so cool. And this talk is for you if you are a highly sensitive, introverted soul who doesn't want to apologize a moment longer for your for the way you are. It's like,
yeah,
no more apologizing. But what I was trying to do there is weave in who it's for. This talk is perfect for highly sensitive, introverted people that don't want to apologize for their sensibilities. This is for you if you're ready to shine in your distinct light instead of hiding in the shadows a moment longer. Right?
Yes.
This is for you if making a shift in weeks or days is an answer to a prayer that you've had for a lifetime. And it's like people say, wow, I'll go to that. Yeah. I'll go to that if that's the promise. Because people that are highly sensitive, introverted, I kind of think about that movie, The Greatest Showman. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
These are such an interesting collection of personalities and human beings that are different than the rest of us. But somehow, when they tapped into what was really special about them, they created the greatest show on earth.
Right.
And they came alive, and they made people smile, and they brought joy, and they gave hope to anyone else who was similarly different. Giving hope to those who are similarly different, that might be interesting too. So for you, I know it's at the top of the hour, we're getting closer to a topic that you want to talk about. And my advice to you is to come up with 3 takeaway points about what they're going to learn. And some of the things we've talked about in the last 10 minutes might be worth re-listening to, so you can transcribe them and see if you want to put your thumbprint on them and make them yours. And then when you describe about who you are, your compassionate, personal approach to sharing this content is the magic that allows others to tap into theirs. Something like that.
Beautiful.
So can you like take a shot at it and create like a Word document, just 1 page,
Yep.
and then post it in the Facebook group? So
I will.
So just checking in. Like we've got you live, and we've got the chat on the right. This was our first office hour on a scale of 1 to 10, being 10 that was really good for me, 1 I'd rather be in Philadelphia. How did we do? Did you get some value here? And you know, that's nice psychic compensation for me. Let me know how well we served you. If you didn't get called on, did you still get value by listening to the lessons that I shared with others? Let me hear from you on that. In terms of what we do going forward, we got 3 more calls. The next one is a week from today. And then in the meantime, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm in the Facebook group reviewing your drafts. So what you do is you upload your file using the Files tab, and you tag me so that I know something has been posted. And I will be alerted to come to your draft and review it, and I may ask clarifying questions. I may make wording suggestions. I may redo something for you, and I'll tag you back, and then that will keep you in motion so that you can be feeling as though you're getting to your destination. And then if you're one of those folks that wants to get live on next week's call, give me, you know, if you can post, the sooner the better for us to talk. You know, don't do it at the 11th hour, so I don't have the benefit of looking at it ahead of time, because you get so much better from me if I have a few minutes to look it over. But just know that I'm totally here for you to make sure that you transform your topic from fuzzy to clear, and that it's compelling, and that you're feeling proud of your message. And we'll work on all this stuff all this month. And my fondest hope is that by the end of it, you all have a sizzling speaker sheet that makes you proud, that opens doors for you. And here's another subtle suggestion. You're in a group with, I think we have 15 students. When you get to know what the other students are talking about, it could be that you know someone who needs a speaker just like you or her. So what if you become each other's speaker posse and start referring leads among and between each other? Because sometimes that's how it works. And maybe Marianne, who is a retirement coach, can't make the gig that she was invited to, and she's looking for someone to stand in her stead. Maybe there's someone else that speaks on a similar topic that she could gladly recommend. And all of a sudden, you're helping each other get more gigs, and you can do it a whole lot better when you've got a team of people cheering for you than you can ever get accomplished by yourself. So, so those are my marching orders. So anyone want to say anything before we sign off for today? I'll unmute people. Let's see if we can try that, if we don't get any echoes or something. Anyone want to say anything before we sign off? Let's see, speak to Sal. I'm looking at comments. I'm still lost with my own program, Denise. So Denise, where are you? Oh, I'm going to call on you. Denise, are you there? Can you hear me? Denise, it says unmute. Denise, if you're lost, we'll find you. Tell us more about you in the Facebook group. You know, what do you talk about? What objective do you have? I'm here for you. I'll do whatever I can to support you. We just need to learn a little bit more. And that's how it happens. So Andrea says, this was fabulous. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Really appreciate that. All right. Well, hopefully everybody, I've addressed everybody's comments and questions. So it's 11:05. We went a little bit over, but I appreciate you staying. And I'll be back with you in the Facebook group as you tag me. And then again, next Thursday at 10 o'clock for more of this back and forth kind of thing. And I look forward to seeing the transformations that happen for all of you amazing folks who have joined us. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you soon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.